So we're live on our Wednesday call. It is July the 1st. Amazing, man. Okay, so this is a video about the argument for monogamy. And there's going to be actually a part 2 to this, which is the argument for non-monogamy. And where this comes out of is there's a thread, another infamous Hans Komain thread. We're going to interview him tomorrow. And man, done tons of interviews with him at this point. And I love it. But we talk about a lot of this stuff, and sometimes people will butt heads. So Hans posted up something which is about non-monogamy or the non-traditional relationship. And there's a long write-up, which you guys who are really into reading stuff can read. And there's a video for video people that you can watch. But it's talking about non-traditional relationships, and this is Hans's life. Here's what's up. When we talk about this, and what's unique about my whole life is that I have lived both, all right? Was non-monogamous for a long time, long time. Was monogamous for, or at least for me, a long time. In a 7-year relationship, 7-year marriage, there's a huge value to that. And to get both sides and then to go back into the non-monogamous life, man, there's a lot I could say for monogamy. So that is what we're going to talk about right now. And like I said, I'm going to talk about the counters to that in the next video. All right? So, monogamy, man, so many people knock on this in so many different ways. And I think that it's very important if you're a man that you go through life and you experience women. Okay, you don't have to do that. There's a bunch of arguments like for, against that, whatever. In my opinion, I think that it's super important because one of the things that happens when guys get divorced and so on, or things happen, they fall apart in those ways, is there's a regret for not having enough of that lifestyle where it's just crazy and you get to do what you want. And like my fantasies of women were never fulfilled and I feel incomplete as a man. And that's ridiculous. Look, when my marriage ended, that sucked and it was painful and still is. And also like, it's a big thing, right? It's a commitment for life that dissolves. But one of the things that I never thought was like, I still need to kick off my bucket list. Oh my God. I've never, been able to experience these things. And that actually helped out hugely in being monogamous because I never thought I could do it, right? I thought it was impossible. I thought it was like something that could never freaking happen. So here's what's up. Monogamy, I don't want to get into all the social shit because that's how people get lost, right? If you're on this page and you're into self-improvement, you need to worry about the self. You need to worry about you. You need to worry about, as my buddy Jared Lawrence was talking about, is that you need to worry about the psychological part, not the sociological part. Okay, so why things don't work societally, cool, got it. We can have that discussion. But if you want to work on yourself, which is what Austin Men's Development is about, is you need to be able to talk about how this affects you. So here's what's amazing. What I got from monogamy was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I'm not exaggerating in that in any way. And I've done a lot of stuff, right? Some of the experiences that people might think are great are like certain athletic things or artistic things or working with people that are important and blah, 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 blah. No, man, my relationship that I had with my ex was one of the most special things that you could have. Why? Because it showed true honor, true commitment, and true dedication, true choice, and organizing what I think about things or how I think about things or what I should do with certain things. When you prioritize a family, when you prioritize a budget, when you prioritize kids and babies and trips and careers and what we need to do, what is for the best, you develop a skill set, which is one of the most honorable things that you could do. If you want to know about selflessness, if you want to know about acceptance, if you want to know about yourself, if you want to know the depth of your sacrifice, those are some of the things that marriage or being in a long-term monogamous relationship will show you. Now, is it the best thing? Is it the worst thing? That's for you to decide. But for me, at the time of my life, it was hands down the best thing. It was the best thing. It gave me an amazing gift of who I am. In fact, there's so many guys who go through the seduction industry and are very good with women because this was actually my life. Is like, if I didn't want to be alone, I could not be alone really easily. If I wanted to be in love, I could be in love really easily. But that isn't the skill set of building a relationship. That just gave me more opportunities to work out my dysfunction in different ways. That relationship changed it. And it was an amazing thing. The other thing I'll say, and this goes into commitment and what that means, is that personally, you're going to gain so much value of, like, if you were to ask me if I dedicate my life to somebody, I'm sure my ex could argue that in all these different ways, but I did that. That was me. And everybody who knows me knows that was me. They saw me before, they saw me afterwards. They saw a maturity. They saw all these other things change within me. And that commitment of being able to be responsible at that level for your partner, your kids, the finances, the plans, the future, all of those things, the plan, right? All of those things are amazing. Now, if it didn't work, it didn't work. And here's what's interesting about that. If you have a problem with that, like the fact that, like, I was giving my friend up a ride up to Fort Worth, and one of the things that happened in that was he basically was like, man, used to travel all this way for nothing, for nothing. How does that feel? And, he was married and gets the whole thing. It's like, what are you talking about, man? I mean, like, yeah, it sucked. It sucked. That sucks that happened. It sucked that this didn't turn out how the plan was. But in that, of the times I had to sleep in a car and the times that I had to, like, take alternate transportation up because we were having car trouble so I could make money, so I could provide for the family, so I could bust my ass, all that stuff. Dude, those are good things. And so when you gain the self-pride of who you are and your experiences with that, man, let me tell you, like, that is something nobody can take away from you. And what I see with all these guys in these, like, men's groups and all this sort of shit, dude, it's like they negate all of the growth that they made in their marriage, relationship, or whatever, because they're pissed off at their ex, because they're pissed off at their internal problems. And I'm not saying that you can't be pissed off. You can very well be pissed off. There's a lot of things that could piss you off about it and whatever. But man, oh man, it's you. You chose that person. You were with that person. You surely played a part, even if you were completely victimized in your divorce or split up or breakup, that added to this. Like, you helped make this. You said yes to it. Part of saying yes is that takes your self-responsibility, even if you get fucked, right? And so we have this thing happening now where there is clearly unfairness that might come from, courts or people siding or gossip with friends or whatever. And I'd say the courts are, like, way better now. They're actually really good. But there could be unfairness, but that somehow means you don't need to look at yourself. And they're two different things. And there's not enough men talking about this and working through it. Last thing that I'm going to talk about in the argument for monogamy, in the argument for relationships. And man, this is, man, if you want to talk about, like, great things in a human being's life, right, is to know what it's like to feel a part of something, right? When you are a family unit, when you are that is unreal, right? When you are a team, when you have love, when you have acceptance, when you have each other's back. And one of the best things about this whole thing is sometimes you may be pissed off at each other. You may hate each other. You may be judging each other. You may have all these things which go, fuck this, but you do it. And man, that is awesome. That is awesome. I know for me, when it comes to monogamy, it was something that I didn't think I could do. It was something where I had a lot of experience walking into it. And now I know that I totally can do it. But I needed also to be able to let myself go. I needed to be able to sacrifice. And one of the things that I hear so many people talk about when they talk about, like, man, I was married, fuck it, I'll never do it again. And I may never do it again. But one of the things that I hear with that is they just seek power and control over women, and that limits choice. And one of the best things that I had a relationship with my ex was, it was always, do you think I'm the best person? Do I think you're the best person? And if not, how do we get there? If we can't repair that, then we have to end it. And that's part of the deal. Why would you not want a life like that? Why would you want a life that guarantees, just because you don't want to be hurt, just because you don't want to be able to sort yourself out and perhaps go deeper into who you are, that you're going to take less of a person to accept you? Meaning they can't say no. We take away that option. Meaning that I'm not going to learn the difference between making blind decisions about love and correct decisions about love based on who I am. Meaning that the person that I talk to has to fear me or be under power in order for it to work. And that to me, that's just disturbing. And it's terrible that is the solution. That's the best men have in this argument for monogamy, non-monogamy, whatever it is. It was something that massively changed my life. There's one other thing that I probably forgot to mention here that has slipped in my mind, but we're just kind of free flowing on our Wednesday night call. Guys, if you want to be on the calls, look, check out the Rebuild Challenge. It's $10. At this point, I'm probably going to raise the price because there's not enough activity from all the guys that signed up at $10. But you get 14 days. You can work with us. You can sign up right now. I'm sure this will raise very soon for a month for $20. I mean, that's pretty crazy. So you get an awesome course, and you get a lot of calls and a lot of interaction. You get a bunch of PDFs, and so it's a system that we work in. That's a very good thing. And if you really want to step it up to where it's at, MDX or TS Online, all those links are down below. There's probably some resources for ebooks and stuff down below, but stay tuned because now we're going to make the argument for non-monogamy, which will be perhaps a better discussion, maybe not, but the thing that I forgot about monogamy, which I'm not remembering right now, I bet you I'm going to remember during that one. So definitely watch that one as well. All right. I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.